What's up, guys? So again, the Chi-Yu, I'll be going over the Chi-Yu. I was gonna kind of wait till I use it a little bit longer, but you know what? After using it for about a few days, a few days, dropping and did all the kind of tests with it, I did get the voltmeter out and I did check the voltage drop compared to the Nemesis. Is kind of my go-to mod. It was my go-to mod. It still kind of is. I checked the voltage drop against the Chi-Yu, and it does fairly well with each other. I noticed that the Chi-Yu gets a 0.02 volt drop additional compared to the Nemesis, which is negligible. Again, it's 0.02 volts. Okay, so 4.19 on this, opposed to 4.17 on this. Again, negligible. I've been vaping like a Sarah, according to Grim Green, with this little bent drip tip. I've been enjoying that quite a bit. Back to the Chi-Yu. So it's heavy. It's a very, very heavy mod. I'm not gonna weigh it because I don't feel like plugging my scale, but it's quite a bit heavier than the Nemesis is. Definitely much heavier than the Magneto is. But if you get away from the heft, the design of it, it's very clean. It is very clean. It's a beautiful little, I don't know what that is, with some Korean writing in the back. And hey, look, I'm Korean, so am I going to be biased on this? I think a little bit, right? Everyone's biased in their own way. If you say that I have an unbiased review, that's bullshit, because everyone is biased, okay? It just is what it is. If you're human, that's what it is. So, but besides that, how does this hit? Quite wonderfully. Truthfully, I've been loving the way this vapes. And I keep forgetting to charge the battery or put in a new battery before a video, so whenever you see me vaping, it's going to be at about 3.7 volts. Just because I vape on it, and then I make a video. So again, this is not a freshly charged battery. So you can see it produces a crap ton of vapor, just like the Nemesis or the Magneto would. As far as how it performs, what do I give this? A 2 thumbs up. Obviously, the bang for your money, you get it, right? It's a 2 month. Really not much to talk about. So the functionality does get a thumbs up because you can adjust this where you won't get battery rattle. And I can adjust it to pretty much everything. I tried a whole bunch of different RDAs. So, the switch, okay, I'm going to go drip on this just a little bit more, just in case I don't want to dry that wick. It is cotton. So let's put a few drops in there, fire it up. Okay, so the firing mechanism has the most shortest throw you could possibly find. Do you see that? That's firing it, that's let it go. The locking ring is buttery smooth, but it's not reverse threaded, okay? So, but it is buttery smooth. All the threads on this is incredibly smooth. The thread is bigger, but it's incredibly smooth. No squeaks. It's just, wow. It's heavy. You could feel it. The air control valve on the top is quite interesting. It works kind of like a control valve does, but it kind of makes this whole mod come together quite well, because you see that gap right there? Well, depending on your center pin, that gap might be greater or kind of lesser depending on how you adjust that center pin. But what this mod lets you do is it lets you kind of cover that gap no matter kind of how much you adjusted that center pin in, and it makes it look quite nice. Now there are air holes here, as you can see, and notice that I did kind of adjust the center pin perfectly so I get no battery rattle. At the same time, it does sit all the way in, and so that's why those air holes right here, it's very hard to see, but they are fully open for those that feed air through the bottom. Okay. I am thoroughly loving how this thing hits. It is quite heavy. Okay, so just know that it does have a heft to it, which is actually a good thing for some people, and it's actually a good thing for me at some time. The spring is very, very stiff. It is compressed quite a bit, which is very good because the throw is so short, incredibly short, that you kind of want that stiff spring. I have no problems pressing it with my pinky. So it's not really stiff as far as pushing it in, but it is stiff in the fact that that spring is compressed quite a bit. What I noticed when I got it was, if, like this thing, because it's such a short throw, you could go ahead and click the edge of this, and it'll still work. This is kind of the best option I've seen as far as switches go. The only problem that I've seen was when I first got it, after about 6 hours of use, I noticed this button getting stuck. It got stuck in the fire position. I don't know how that happened, but it kind of like, I don't know, whatever, it got stuck and then it was constantly firing. So I was like, it's like, oh, look, and then I was like, ah, and I slapped it, and then it came out. Okay, so I had to slap this thing. And then I took it all apart. It's very easy to take apart. It's the standard. There's a screw in the bottom you can unscrew, and you can take a spring assembly, and I polished it up. Okay, I like to polish things. It makes it look so pretty. So I polished the bottom with some Neverdol, and it got stuck on me again after a few hours. And then I polished it with semi-chrome, and that fixed it right up. So I haven't gotten a stuck button since. So we need something to compare this to, just to compare. Okay, so I'm going to compare it to the Nemesis, because I love the Nemesis. I love how it performs. I love everything about it. So I'll compare it to the Nemesis. How easy is it to switch between atomizers? Well, okay, it's a bit more difficult than the Nemesis is. As far as the Magneto goes, I'm not going to mention that because Magneto also has at least the newer versions, have a floating pin in the middle where you can unscrew and match it to your atomizer. But what I end up doing with the Magneto is I just keep it screwed in all the way, and I don't really give a crap if there's a gap there or not. Okay, but on the Nemesis and the Chi-Yu, I do give a crap if there's a gap. I don't know why, but see, this one has a gap, like that. See, because I got too lazy adjusting it. But I could actually ungap this by taking it off, adjusting the center pin, and then just screwing that cap back on. Creeping like a sir. I could essentially do the same thing. Okay, so with the Nemesis, I do have the magnet switches in here. It does not hold up when you put it down, so you always have to have that safety on. As far as the Chi-Yu goes, you don't have to do that. It does actually just hold up on its own. Let's go ahead and put a few more drops in there. Okay, and let's fake like it's sir with this sucker as well. So, how easy it's to interchange the atomizers? Well, I noticed that this Chi-Yu is a bit more difficult because you don't have that bottom option to kind of pull in or pull out the switch to tighten up the battery, where you have to adjust everything from the top. And what I mean by that is, I'll go ahead and pull it out and give you a little show and tell. So if you look here, let's go ahead and screw that one in just a little bit. If you look here, you have your center pin right here, which kind of adjusts your gap between your atomizer and your top plate, and then you have another pin down here, and this kind of adjusts the battery rattle. So you have to adjust both of them for you to actually have no battery rattle and then have this sit flush. Okay, and the bottom just screws in, it doesn't adjust. Okay, the bottom switch just screws in, does not adjust. So you screw this in, and again, there's a little bit of room for error, I must say, because that gap right there, depending on it, it'll either loosen or widen. But again, this airflow control valve, you just move it all the way down, and that fixes that up right away. Anyways, you want to expose those airflows anyway. So that is kind of how it's done. During the course of this video, I might call the Chi-Yu something else, or I might call the Nemesis something else. I get names confused every once in a while. It happens, okay? So just know, for the Nemesis, so this is what I'm talking about as far as how easy it is you just loosen the bottom like this, like so, and you'll have the battery rattle, okay? You open up the top, and what you'll notice, you only see one adjustable pin. The center floating pin, what you do is you adjust it to make it sit flush against the atomizer. Just by screwing the atomizer and tightening up the center pin, you pop it in, okay? No more adjusting, it's very just one way. You don't have to take it back out and readjust it. Okay, boom. So it's in. But you notice there's still a battery rattle. What you do is you tighten that bottom switch in until it's tight. And now, no more battery rattle. Everything performs, functions perfectly. It's much easier as far as changing out batteries and atomizers, at least to what I kind of like. Let's go to put this away. So that is what I'm talking about as far as kind of, it is more difficult on the Chi-Yu because sometimes you won't get that inner pin correct and you'll still get the battery rattle, and the only way to fix that is to unscrew the top cap again, loosen it up just a little bit so it gets a little longer, screw it back in and then check again, and unscrew it and do that process over and over again until you get it right. Like I said, there is a little bit of room for error because of that air control valve you have there. You can see now the air control valve is exposed just a tad bit more. Okay. So, how do I like this Chi-Yu? I'm freaking loving it. And what's the main differences between the Chi-Yu and other mainstream freaking mechanical mods? It's a freaking mechanical mod, okay? All it is a tube and a switch, really, when you think about it. The mainstream difference is the design. Do you like that design? Does that intrigue you? Does that you know, kind of, ooh, look at that, I gotta have it? Do you like that writing there? Ooh, you gotta have it. If you do, then there you go. Get the Chi-Yu. If you like the Nemesis design, then get the Nemesis, okay? If you like both, get both. As far as performance-wise, how everything works, it's perfect, okay? It doesn't have a massive voltage drop. It doesn't even have a voltage drop that's comparable to normal mods. It has a very good little voltage drop. How's the vape? Like a mechanical mod should vape. Very good. But if you have any questions about the Chi-Yu, go ahead and message me. I'll try to get back to you. Again, leave a comment. If it's a question-based comment, I'll try to get back to you and all that stuff. Alright, thanks for watching.